Going back to study the dream. So, a good analogy that I heard from somebody after my awakening occurred, and this person who helped facilitate it for me, I still was asking a few questions that pertained to uh, pre-awakened life, so to speak. And he gave me the analogy that it's like going back in to study a dream. You know, it's like when you wake up at night, you know, you might have had some crazy dream. Maybe there was something in it that you were right on the edge of figuring out. Maybe you were gonna have some breakthrough in your dream. Or maybe something fascinating happened before you awoke. Whatever the reason, if there's something in that dream that you keep getting beckoned by to figure out, it's kind of pointless, right? Because if you go back into that dream, whatever you figure out is only going to pertain to that dream. Once you wake up again, it's irrelevant. So, after awakening, after like a spiritual type of awakening, not a normal waking up from your dreams at night, we might still have some questions, you know. Maybe there was some philosophical question that we want to integrate into our awakening. Maybe there is some scientific question. Maybe there is some old belief that you're trying to reconcile. Well, the you that's trying to figure that out is the dream you. So you're kind of like, it's almost like you're like, you just woke up, you're rubbing your eyes, you know, and you're kind of like drifting back asleep a little bit. And that's okay. It's normal. I mean, awakeness is absolute. So the recognition of that, whether you're conscious of it or not, it doesn't change the fact that awakeness is absolute. So you can't go back asleep because you never really were asleep. You were awakeness pretending to be asleep. In a sense. But don't freak yourself out if you kind of are wavering a little bit there, maybe nodding off, so to speak, a little bit. But my advice to you would be that just remind yourself that you're just doing you're just investigating a dream. And it's only relevant to that dream. Now, on the other hand, too, post-awakening, your mind can be, your mind is so open now to learning all kinds of things because you're not seeking out an absolute answer anymore. So it's more fun to learn. And you can do it in a more playful way, and I think that opens you up to be able to learn better, more rapidly, and with less blocks in the way, because you're not protecting any kind of absolute belief system anymore. So you may notice that you become more interested in playfully researching your dream, or dreams in general, meaning the waking dream. Maybe more interested in researching sleeping dreams too. So you might think of somebody who becomes awakened, who maybe is no longer interested in worldly things such as academia and science and philosophy, but those things just become more fun. Now, another thing I would say too is because if you're seeking, the mind has such a tendency to seek, wants something that's next, that even when you stumble upon awakening, what can happen is you can just kind of walk right by it. Because awakening is not something that the mind has a place in, really, or it doesn't have a job to do anymore. It can still be a useful tool sometimes, but it's mainly lost its purpose. So, because of this, the mind, because we're so used to using the mind and thinking all the time and identifying and labeling with our mind and figuring things out, we can stumble upon awakening, and then we can just kind of walk right by it, so to speak. Like when I say walk right by it, what I mean is we can have that moment of clarity, and then we can just keep thinking. So it's helpful to notice that sometimes it can be helpful if it's pointed out, the awakening, because it can be very subtle, and might not notice it. So having somebody who can point it out for you can be helpful. Maybe not necessary, but I think definitely at least helpful in a lot of cases. And to this point, though, if someone doesn't point it out to you, or if you don't pick up on it, you're on your own, then you can go right past it. And because the mind has that tendency to want to keep thinking and figuring things out, even if you do recognize the awakening, even if you and you have a shift, it can be a good idea to not engage intellectually with more philosophical, non-dual, maybe even scientific material for a little bit, because the mind will want to kind of get right into it again. So this point kind of opposes my other point, where I was saying that post-awakening, you may be able to playfully play around with thoughts and ideas and worldviews and all that stuff, and knowledge and learn and science and philosophy. You may be able to do that in a much more fun and playful way without taking it too seriously. Yet, on the other hand, this point I'm now making is that initially, after your awakening, you might want to put a little space from that stuff. Don't make this an absolute, because if you make this an absolute, now you have a new absolute. Now you're starting to make rules again. Now you're trying to figure things out again, and that's the mind doing it again, is what I'm trying to say. So I recommend not watching some stuff for a little bit. It's up to you, but maybe see what feels right. If you feel like you get that seeking energy, so what happened to me was after my awakening, I watched a little bit of non-dual content, and I felt and I tried to meditate, and both things made me feel very uncomfortable. Something felt really weird. It's like there was this, like, it was almost like I could intuit that no, don't start seeking again. No, don't start seeking again. There was, like it's like, no, you're good. It's time to not do that right now. So now gradually I've been getting a little more into some of the stuff I was interested in before, but it's just more casual. It's more fun. It also can help me to build up my vocabulary and articulate myself better when I hear other people's ideas and thoughts, and I can use those almost like Lego bricks in my ideas and thoughts. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Awakening can be very, very subtle, but it deepens, and so to speak, in a sense, it deepens, so that subtlety becomes very very light yet full, and becomes lightly intoxicating in the cleanest sort of way possible. If that makes any sense. It's like a subtlety that is just like kind of like the subtlety of being in nature on a nice calm day. It's beautiful and it feels good, and yet it's very subtle. So yeah, if you like this video, then please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe. If you know anybody who might like this, then please share. If you have anything you want to say, then please comment down below. And if you want to get notifications whenever I drop new content, then hit that little bell button. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.